90 times 33.
All right, we'll get to hear from Carlos Queiroz in a second on his expectations of the team in terms of the World Cup. But let's go to the line. Let's speak with ex-Black Stars, ex-King Faisal midfielder and player relations manager at the PFAG, Yusuf Alassane Chipsa. Yusuf, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Nathan. I'm doing well, thank you. And thank you for having me this morning.
Thank you so much for your time. I won't take too much of your time because you have pressing matters to deal with. But just your thoughts on the performance. Wales won, Ghana won. It was the first official game in the tenure of Carlos Queiroz. What did you make of the performance? What did you make of what you saw last night from the Black Stars?
Well, thank you, Nathan. I think it was okay. Performance was okay. We wouldn't say the best because we want to see more, which our boys, the entire team, are capable of putting up. So the scoreline was okay. Was not bad because we did not lose, and for the fact that we also drew the first blood, and they got the equalizer at the last hour. So I think there are more positive things to carry on along with us than negative. So for me, it's not a bad start for Carlos. It's giving us some hope that at least he'll be able to do something with the squad that we have.
What was the thing, or what were the things that made you happy? What were the things that pleased you the most, and what was the thing that you didn't really like from the performance?
To start with, I think I like the composure of the entire team. Almost every department or every player was confident of himself. You couldn't see any jittery or any kind of fairness in the boys. They were all composed. They clicked. We saw a lot of substitutions as well. That also gives me more positive that Carlos is trying to assess everybody to be on the field. Apart from the notable names that were excluded, we saw that most of the players had the opportunity to show up themselves, and that is very, very good. So at least we see that this is a man who wants to give everybody the opportunity in order to make sure that he does the right thing at the right time when we get to the World Cup. I didn't like the fact that we considered a late goal. Looking at where the time was 90 plus, we could have at least held on to that to finish the game with a win. That is not so good for us. At least we'll be able to. This is the World Cup, and you don't quit until it's over. So for me, I think there are, like I said, there are more positive to take along with us than negative. There are hopes, Nathan. I think the entire Ghana should rally behind the team. We should give them the support. This is just a friendly game. It's just part of the preparation. Even though it matters, scoreline matters, performance matters, I think there are more signs, positive signs ahead of us.
Finally, how do you think Carlos Queiroz would feel just looking at this performance, 1-1 draw and all? What do you think, or what are some of the things you believe he would be happy with? And between now and when they play the next friendly, I think it's against Jamaica or the very first game, what are the things you expect him to work on to improve before the competition officially starts?
Yes, first and foremost is to make sure that we held on to our lead whenever we draw the first blood, and especially when the game is that close to end, 90 plus. So whatever the mistakes came from, I think he'll be able to sit down with his team, look at the video again, and then do those corrections, because it's very painful to concede goals at that hour. Just a few minutes for you to take along 3 points, and then you lose them. So I think he should be able to look at that. He should be able to look at he had his own game plan. There's a reason why we had this game. We have England as part of our group members. So the reason why he had this game, at least to have an idea how the English clubs play like. So whatever plans that they had, whatever they wanted from this game to take along with them, I'm very sure that this game is in preparation for the England game, the game against England. So they should be able to do their homework very well and make sure that we take a lot of positive signs along in order to make sure we win our game against England. I think this particular friendly was like was to our best we will do against the English countries or the English the nations at the World Cup. So Carlos, together with his technical team and the entire playing body, should be able to look at this game again and then do whatever corrections that they have to do, looking at his game plan, what kind of game plan he has going into the competition itself. He should be able to make sure that he gets the reason why he had this game. Everything is intact before we move into the competition itself.
That's finally going through the squad. We have about 15 debutants, 15 players experiencing the World Cup for the first time. What would be your advice to them? This is the biggest thing they would ever experience, the highest form of football. How do you think they should handle themselves in this environment, their first time experiencing a World Cup? How should they handle the occasion so they can give off their very best?
Yeah, I think they are debutants at the World Cup, but then they are not new to football and they are not new to international football. They are all professional players playing their trade in Europe and outside Europe. So there shouldn't be much of a problem to worry about. It's the same football, but then, as you said, this is a bigger stage. They should just hold onto their composure and discipline, listen to the technical handlers. And as for the game itself, I don't think they have much to worry about. They are very capable. What we saw yesterday, you could see that. There isn't much to worry about with the debutants. It's not going to be a problem at all. They just have to be disciplined and work hard. That is the most important thing.
Yusuf, thank you. Thank you so much for speaking with us. All the best. I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you.
All right. That was Yusuf Alassane Chipsa, ex-King Faisal, ex-Black Stars, and current player relations manager at the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana, PFAG, sharing his thoughts on the game. You can equally send us your comments 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Abigail Senasosu is here with me. Calvin Owusu is also here. The rest of the production team in place. We'll get into the game, but as I said, you can also send us your comments. I see some comments coming in. We'll quickly go through them. Oh, okay. Minutes after 8. You know what? Let's open the phone lines, right? Let's open the phone lines. I want to hear what people have got to say concerning this game. Give me a call 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061, or 030-279-4805, 030-279-4805. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello. Good morning from Adidoma.
Yes, sir. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Sami. I'm calling from Adidoma.
All right, Sami, please go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yesterday game, I was very happy.
Okay.
And Ghana football is back. I said yesterday that our traditional formation is 4-4-2. I think the players listen to the coach, the tactics, the formation, how to respond to woes, their tactics. I love the game yesterday. I love the way the players play, their commitment, and I want to thank Atizigi.
Okay.
I think he will be our number one. The save, oh God, I was very happy. All the players play very well to instruction and everything, except one Judas in our game who decided to play for Wolves. That is Baba Rama.
Oh,
and the evidence are there. He nearly gave us an own goal. You see, when everybody is saying one thing, we should listen to it. When he was introduced, I said, wow, Asamaba, look at this. The evidence are there. You're supposed to take attack on. Have you seen it? The evidence are there. So I was very happy. And that your lady who is praising Ajete. We all love Ajete the way he played. Is our number one best player yesterday. But when Ajete decided to play for Ghana, and Baba Rama decided to play for Wolves, this is a result. We're supposed to win that game yesterday. So I think the coach is good, and we are going to do better. But with what I saw yesterday, if Baba Rama should be playing for Ghana, who is it at the group stage? Baba Rama shouldn't play any game at all. He shouldn't play. And the most disappointing one is they give captain back to him. Wow, look. Ketogre Gudali boy. The evidence are there. I learned one thing from our former vice president. He says, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. That's the evidence of Baba Rama yesterday. Thank you very much.
Oh man. 054-257-1061 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Give me a call. Let me hear your thoughts on the game. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, Nathan. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Osben, calling from North Industrial.
All right, Osben, please go ahead.
Hey, Ghana. We don't like the blaster, but when it's going well, we will follow. I always say this, the person called Ghana, you can't please him. But yesterday, it was an improvement on our previous performance.
Okay.
You know, sometimes team is all about coaching. I am not saying Otto was a bad coach. But with the experience of Carlos, at least he just tweaked a few things in the team, and we saw the improvements. I was happy for Akizigi. I will say this: I love Benjamin Asare, but his ball distribution, Nathan, his ball distribution, we can all attest to it that yesterday and the previous game against Mexico, none of his long balls went to our players. So if the coaching staff want to use him as our number one, then they have to work on it. I was happy with the partnership between Jonas and Jerome. At least we've seen improvements on Ajete's side. Not always we bring him down. At least if he's done well, we should give him his praise. Partey, frankly speaking, if we are going to go forward, Partey, either we push him forward as we did against DR Congo in one of the World Cup qualifiers, or he starts from the bench. Jordan should learn to release the ball quickly. Sometimes the over-elaboration and sometimes quick, look at the goal between Caleb scored. Just a 1-2 pass between him and the Sneema who were in the box. Sometimes that is the details that he has to take the decision quick, and then we are good to go. Overall, I am happy. I am praying we get another friendly match so that at least we get a weaker opposition. We score them like 5-6 to boost the confidence of the players.
I see.
I am happy, and I'm looking forward to a great World Cup. Have a lovely morning.
All right. Thank you. 054-257-1061 030-279-4805. Those are the call lines. So you can give us a call. I want to hear what people have got to say concerning the Black Stars. Hello.
Hello, Nathan.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I'm Clement, calling from Liberia Camp.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah, for once, I really saw a very good Ghanaian side in a long while. We didn't play that beautifully, but the breaks were spot on. And I don't know, Jordan's strength over the period has been his hold-up play, but yesterday was quite awful. I saw one break that he could have released the pass to Senaya, but he didn't. He turned and sent the ball back. I didn't know what informed his decision. But at the World Cup, you may not have those breaks. And if you have one, you need to make it count. Everybody is talking about the 1-2 between Ernest Nyama and Caleb. But nobody is talking about the press that Brandon made to retrieve the ball and give the ball to Ernest Nyama for the goal to come. And I think that Brandon has a lot of fire up his sleeve, and I believe that he should be given more minutes to play. On the whole, I think my first 11 would be Atizigi, Sanaya, Jerome, Jonas, Mensah, no doubt. Baba shouldn't come anywhere close. Because he was like, there wasn't any sign of urgency in him, in his play. And I don't know whether because he has stayed at home for a very long time, he was a bit jilty himself. Then I come into the midfield.
Baba hasn't stayed at home. Baba has been playing.
Oh, he has been playing, but talking about the national team, he's been away for a very long time.
Okay.
So I know that probably his conscience is not serving him right. His conscience is like, hey, I did we cry me, I said me move you more, no my baby. We cry me be a mistake, then it came. So some of these things it should have been looked at before they called him for such a bigger stake. In the middle, I'll go for Elisha and Caleb. Pate should start from the bench. He's lost pace. He's lost the touch, because I was expecting that he will be picking the balls and controlling the midfield with a slow tempo demeanor. But unfortunately, he was messing up. I don't know. Maybe he has become rusty as well. Then up front, we'll talk about Nyama, Semenyo. Then I'll pair Jordan with Brandon, or bring in Kamaldeen, then take out Brandon, then pair Jordan with Semenyo. Then at least we'll have a very good game. On the whole, it was positive. It's unfortunate that we took a draw, but it's positive. That's my take.
All right. Thank you so much. 816. Your comments are still welcome. 054-257-1061. You can call us 054-257-1061, 030-279-4805. Hello.
Hello, Nathan.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Okay, my name is Bernard, calling from Amasama New Life.
Okay, all right. Please go ahead.
Okay, so looking at the statistics of yesterday's game, if you look at the ball possession from Wales, it was 66%. Ghana had 34% ball possession. But with the 34%, what we realized was that they were able to do something good with the ball. And from all indications, I know the coach knows best, that we need a lot of pace so far as the game is concerned. Because even with Nyoma, as we have been told, that he was having an ACL injury and just recovering and coming back with such pace, that will tell us that the guy is a very good player. And so, once we are able as a people to actually define what is fairness, so that we take the right caliber of personnel to the Mundial or to any tournament, or so far as our national teams are concerned, you will definitely get the results. Because no matter what, Ghanaians love the football. Ghanaians love the Black Stars. We love the national teams. And so just as we follow it with passion, when the call is made that the right caliber of people should be taken, I think authorities and those concerned should try as much as possible to listen to us. So on the whole, they did well. It's just that the attitude of some of the boys on the pitch actually is what we should look at. But like we have said, I think they have a psychologist in the team and staff. They should be able to psych them up so far as this tournament we are going is also very concerned. So for me, Mantik, I think we did very well. So you should be actually encouraged and be motivated. So what the whole team actually did is good. It's just that we lost concentration. And then I think that is what actually made that come. We shouldn't blame anybody because at the end of it all, it is teamwork. Going forward, we should look at the mistakes we have made and see how best we can improve upon whatever we have done and also correct the mistakes we have made going forward. Because on the whole, for 5 matches that the Black Stars have played, they have lost all the matches. Until this one, are you not being the dying embers of the game? We would have won. So it is good encouragement, and we should actually see the positives in it. Thank you very much. Later.
All right. Thank you. 054-257-1061 030-279-4805. This is the Sporty Breakfast. You can equally send me a WhatsApp message, right? 054-257-1061. You can give us a call, 054-257-1061 or 030-279-4805. 054-257-1061 030-279-4805. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Let me know what you made of the Black Stars, the performance from last night against Wales. I have a caller on the line. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hello.
Yeah.
Emmanuel.
All right, please go on.
Do you have any psychologist, anything?
They should have one there. In principle, yes, there is, right? A psychologist. There's one.
I'm very, very worried about Thomas Partey.
You are worried about Thomas Partey?
Very, very worried.
Yeah.
Very, very little. Very, very, very worried. Sorry. The guy, I don't think the guy is ready to play football now.
Oh, why?
It's not even at the national team. Even his coach has Villarreal has come out to say this thing. That we know Thomas Partey.
Mm-hmm.
We can't take this into the World Cup. The guy is off it. You can say this is a friendly match, but see, we've seen this in the league. He's not himself. You know, Partey. I'm so worried about Partey.
I understand. I understand your concern. I'm equally worried too. Let's see what will be done.
This is what also. Look at the boy. Then a whole England over 60,000. You.
Well, let's see.
You only have rice. This aggressive English people is pressing you and they are bullying you. It is very, very difficult. Very, very, very difficult, Nathan. Very, 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 very difficult. And it's our engine.
Mm-hmm.
It's our engine. When Partey click, Ghana click.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very, very worried.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how things go. All right, thank you, Emmanuel. 822. Let's take some more calls. 054-257-1061 054-257-1061. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
This is Baba Musa calling from Kumasi.
All right, please go ahead.
All right. I think yesterday game day. I think it's an improvement from our previous games.
Okay.
At least we had 5 shots on target. In the first half, I think we had 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 3 in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's an improvement. But the Thomas Partey unit, player who couldn't play even 10 matches in a season. You see, he's lacking fitness. He's lacking match fitness. So this is what I believe we start seeing. In the first half, he could have gotten red card. if it was like in the World Cup.
Yep.
Yeah, you could have gotten red card and sent off. So I think Party they shouldn't start our game because now we can say they should drop him because they have already submitted the 28-man squad. So we cannot drop him now. So what I think is he should be starting from the bench. He shouldn't start our game. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. We are live on 106.1 in Accra, 91.3 in Kumasi, 102.5 in Takoradi. We are taking calls. We are taking reactions to the Black Stars and their draw from last night against Wales. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm just calling from Algeria.
All right, please go ahead.
If this Benjamin Asari should be our number one goalkeeper, meaning Ghana is going to come back home after our last match. For my view, you should put that Benjamin Asari and then Jordan. We should put them for us.
Okay, all right. Thank you. 824-054-257-1061, 054-257-1061, 030-279-4805. That number is also active. You can call that number. Hello? Yes. Good morning.
Michael.
Michael, please go ahead.
You see, I can't use some scenario. With the Papa da Pan, so could take them from pounds there. Then you give them the Papa. In 2006, yes, Czech Republic and now round second going to the World Cup. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Germany now. What was so be our tournaments, the military grow. So I say, the Black Stars, and then I make us you don't love the Black Stars more than the Ghanaian. But I think you put better performances, you put better players, you put better coaches. So I say, at the point in time, avant-garde they could see Ghana. So I say, to say, you book your Black Stars now, one line in Casa. So I say, but then you know. And that was a greater performance. Many performance. Me off the ball and I'm but not the agency and players no the bay. How the attack space is like some of missing rush, but missing press. Me and then I'm gonna make it. And then that was spot on. Because if you go now, it was from a press from Daniel Thomas Asante and we leave on the coy. But then the concept will be our customer start and say. I was seeing a psychologist, but I was seeing semi and bench boy because they not experience in the middle. Calibration or a young or a grant or berane, but then if there are certain key decisions being look at moderate the very room. If they are declared with the very room, they work with Shadow and Henderson as he is starting against England. Our experience, what tournament are they saying? But then for sharp party or middle. The will be used to bully calibration, which means bully Thomas Patissa. And there was a psychologist, nominated the bank. I'm working on board this side to some few days to the World Cup. Yes, starting. What you do? You need Thomas Patissa in the game. If you say you're a pair or not any young guy, and you're not a young guy, and I ran a man. Nanka Thomas Patissa, they say you should experience a control game. So I say, but at the end of the day, also, Jerome Puku. And that outstanding performance, outstanding. Marvin Senaya, I know to have to see you right back. No, to have to send something and sometimes you. Hey, I was saying to have to sometimes you. And that one, coach you. And I want coach you. He was on the players all the time. No shouting, no catching, hey, do this. Who is not crying now? Because coach, you know, I'm not seeing our what as you know. That's I see. If you need not coaching, some I am not coaching, see any right back. Imagine. And I thought I come up to
like no or the performance is super. So I say your men sounds not in the middle of Kakabadendi. Mon cancer Jordan so Jabo in Minton. What I say, it's to buy it. What I say, maybe can against England, against Croatia, I will control born. You some come here, a counter attack. So I can want to papa near their question. Because born who's been born to look at things, who's been born to watch things, although control into audience, we not counter attacks. I utilize it not the call. But then so not what I'm for 10 years. Or my family regrouping in your coin copy. So I think born in the end of the day, so many out of 10, at least no more 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10, okay.
Yes, 6 or 7 out of 10. Especially off the ball. Me off the ball and I'm paying. Off the ball, very good. Because pressing will be a pressing 50-50 balls, most near Fajom. Even the wins, and we are near competitive setting, be a friendly match there. But then, you penisa, what I say, one national team in Ghana, it's you complain, while I'm complaining that there's any can went to Jamaica. There's some there 5 6 at least. Now,
all right, Michael, thank you. 8:29. I see that the messages are coming in. We'll be going through them in a bit. I also take thoughts from Kelvin and Abigail who are in studio. Let me take this final caller, and then we'll proceed. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ibochu, calling from my son.
Your name is?
Calling from my son.
Okay, all right. Your line is a little, but anyway, please continue. I'm sure we'll hear you.
Okay. The match I watched yesterday was a fantastic match, judging from the fact that the last 5 games, the previous 5 games was LLLL. Yesterday was a job. Though it could have easily been a win, but the way they considered the goal was the football. And probably it was in Cadiz that the match was played. Well, Phillips have lost that game anyway, so that's fine. The guy that plays at right back, that guy, I don't know whether he's the performance or is that how he plays? Because that was a fantastic performance.
Who, Marvin? Marvin Sanaya.
Yeah, he was fantastic. And the defenders that are close to their attackers like that, they don't give the attackers space. It's very difficult for the attackers to dribble them or get a chance, see space to attack. I mean, the guy was fantastic yesterday. I think he's the best player in that pitch yesterday. He was the best player. And that the guy that scored the goal, the Caleb guy.
Yeah.
He's a typical box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah, that's his position.
And the guy is defending. The next time he's in midfield. The other time he's at the box. So he's a box-to-box midfielder. I think if he's paired with Thomas Partey, I mean, people are judging Thomas Partey based on his performance. The best players, sometimes they can have a bad game, sometimes they can have a good game. So if you're judging Thomas Partey from yesterday's match, I mean, I think it's unfair. Because Thomas Partey, he's the midfielder last 2 seasons, he was competing with the likes of Rudy, the likes of Rudy, the Clara. So coming to judge him because of yesterday, I don't think it's fair. He just needs some time. If you're going to a World Cup without your best player and starting in the midfield, because he's a type of player that I think when you're coming against England and they can see the Thomas Partey, he knows his quality. He knows what Thomas Partey can do. He knows the triangular passes he can give. It's just one pass. He's blocking your defense. So I think Thomas Partey, with time he can quickly move on.
Okay.
The left back, they said that he caught the goal. I don't think it's his fault though, because when he came in, not long the goal came. So I don't think he's warmed himself inside the game.
Okay.
Because he's not warmed himself. That's the reason why the ball was easily went to him and.
Hello? Okay, all right. We lost that caller. 8:33. Okay, let me take this last call, and then we can talk about the game. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Nathan.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Justice.
Okay, where are you calling from, Justice?
I'm calling from TB in the Eastern region.
I see. Wow, Justice, please go ahead.
Great. So, just a quick one on the game last night. I don't want to talk really about the technical side. I would rather want to talk about maybe the rules of the game. I realized just maybe I may be wrong. Most of our players do not really know the updates with regards to FIFA's rules concerning this World Cup. i.e., the time for players to move out of the field when they are being subbed and all that. I think it even happened to Ali Seidu, where he was stopped from entering the pitch. Again, there were instances where players will kick the ball when the referee has whistled. In a proper tournament settings, that is a yellow card. And if you're already on a yellow card, that is a red card. And so I think the handlers of our national team should sound the word of caution to our players. I mean, they are professionals. They have to be abreast with the rules of the game. As far as this tournament is concerned, I'm aware there has been a lot of updates.
Yeah,
with regards to.
Yeah, we'll read out all the updates. So it's a very very good point you are making.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Justice from Chebi. Thank you so much. Anyway, we'll pause the calls for now. Your messages are coming through, so. We'll go through them in a bit. But Kelvin, I think this is the right time to go through the updates in terms of the World Cup, the rule changes that everybody should know. So Kelvin, maybe you can take us through the rule changes, and then we'll go through the WhatsApp messages that have come through.
Well, so the new changes or the new rules or the rules that have been confirmed for the World Cup updated. Now, with regards to throw-in and the countdown for the throw-in, if a player deliberately delays the restart of play, the throw can be given to the opposition.
Okay.
If you deliberately delay, the countdown is 5 seconds. Now, with regards to goal kick countdown, it's also 5 seconds. It applies to deliberate attempt to run down the clock, and it can result in a corner kick being awarded to the opponent.
I see.
So if you deliberately decide to delay goal kicks, your opponent would have a corner kick being awarded. Now, time-limited substitutions, that is 10 seconds. So substituted players have 10 seconds to leave the field at the nearest point. If they fail to do so, the substitute cannot enter the field for at least 1 minute, and the team must continue with 10 players. It is the reason why yesterday Ali Seidu had to stay off the pitch for 1 minute before being allowed to come on.
I see.
So you could see the fourth official explaining to Carlos Queiroz that this is the decision, and he was explaining the rules.
I see.
I think later he understood, and Alidu came on after 60 seconds.
So it means that if your number goes up, that you are leaving the game, you have to
the nearest point on the pitch.
Point. So if you are
just
down a touchline,
just walk off.
If you are close to the bar line,
if you are in the middle of the pitch, you have 10 seconds.
Quickly run off.
Exactly. So you don't delay the game. If you delay the game, it goes against your team, and your team plays with the man down for 1 minute. And we all know
1 minute is very long.
Yes, too much time for a team to hurt you. Now, off-field treatment, 1 minute. Players who are treated by the physio must stay off the field for 60 seconds.
Players who are treated
off the field must stay off for 60 seconds. So it means when you get hurt and then the physios or the medics attend to you and you have to go off the pitch. Once you get off the pitch, you stay away from the designated playing field for 60 seconds. That is 1 minute. There are some exceptions, including goalkeepers, in other injuries. which lies with the discretion of the referee, whether it was just some bit of a knock and then you should just come on quickly. And if the opponent is booked or sent off. So if the opponent is booked or sent off, let's say there is a red card offense and then maybe the player is being treated and then gets, up, or let's say in incidents of penalties and then like the Varaskelia case.
Yeah.
He just got down, the medics came to attend to him. Arsenal were protesting, the medics quickly sorted him out and then the game continued with him staying on the pitch. Now, corner kicks. Corners can now be checked by the video assistant referee to make sure that a corner has been correctly awarded. But this must be done quickly and before the restart. So we've seen several corners which are not given, and other corner kicks which should have been goal kicks and given as corner kicks, which teams have used to score against others. Now, at the World Cup, the VAR is going to check that, but they must do that very quickly before the corner kick is taken. And now, players covering their mouth. Any player who covers their mouth in a confrontational situation with an opponent may be sanctioned with a red card. And this is from the cue from Prestiani's situation during the Benfica Real Madrid game.
Yeah, don't go covering your mouth.
Yes, when it's confrontational, it doesn't mean you cannot cover your mouth.
Yeah.
You can cover your mouth to have a discussion with your teammate or even opponent. But when it is during a confrontation,
and you cover your mouth,
red
the
card.
assumption is that you are saying something evil.
Yes.
So red card.
So you'll be shown the red card. And now second yellows can be reviewed. Ordinarily, second yellow cards and then red cards were not being reviewed. But now second yellow cards that ultimately sends players out of the game can now be reviewed. And players sent off for 2 cautions can have the second booking checked. But there will be no reviews for potential second yellow cards. So no reviews for potential second yellow cards. So let's say the Partey situation.
The second foul he committed.
Yes. If the referee allows it to go, they said there will be no reviews for potential second yellow cards. So that means it would have been allowed to do or to go.
Okay.
Unless the referee gave him a yellow and then a red. Then it will be reviewed to check whether he deserved it or not. But if it doesn't give it, it is allowed to go. So these are the latest or the confirmed new rules that will be at the World Cup. So I'm sure everyone is going to keep this in mind so that if your goalkeeper delays or your player delays and it's, a decision is taken against you, you don't go about complaining over it. And Arsenal had the same situation applied in the Champions League final.
Yeah,
when Bukayo Saka decided to delay and then the referee whistled for the end of the game because it was time.
It was time.
Yeah.
I see. So listeners, those are the updates. So every now and again, we'll read them to you. We'll share them on our socials too, so everybody is updated. So I really like the fact that the caller, Justice from Chebi, mentioned that our players are aware. It's important that they are made aware. I hope they will be informed. So the people around the Black Stars, TM and co, kindly run the players through the rules so they know, so that somebody doesn't get caught by the rules and then they'll start shouting that, oh, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. The rules are there. So team officials, kindly inform the players, let them be very aware. I do know that before tournaments or just before the start of tournaments, I know that tournament organizers typically will take players through the rules. Yeah. So I'm sure you've seen that.
I remember in 2023, even CAF brought their referee assessors and all of that, including Messi Tega at that time, to come and take out the 8 countries through the new rules with demonstrations.
Okay.
Yes, I've seen it at the CAF level.
Okay.
So the instructor will come assigned to your country, pick a day, come and explain to the players how the rules will apply. So it will be one of any game, but then with the instances to tell you that if this does happen in your game, now this is what it means. So I'm sure at that level they will have, maybe they didn't really think it was applying because it was a friendly, maybe that was why Carlos had that interaction, but I'm sure maybe they also have that there.
Okay, all right, 8:42, this is the Sporty Breakfast. All All right, your messages have come through on 054-257-10610, 054-257-10661. This one is from Jones. Said yesterday was not bad at all. Ernest Neymar, not names Nuyama, was very, very good. Marvin too. Okay, I don't quite understand the message. Okay, all right. I don't quite understand. So please, if you are sending please take your time, type and let us quite understand what you are trying to see. Okay. This one says yesterday was an improvement. We were told we didn't have a right back outside Ghana by a certain coach. Can you ask Kelvin what Kamaldeen brings to the Black Stars? Kamaldeen is Kelvin's very good friend. We'll talk about Kamaldeen. Jerome Opoku was my man of the match. Baba Rahman should have done the simple thing a left back should do, which is prevent the cross. That is true. That is true. That is true. You have to prevent the cross from happening. This one says, I think people just don't like the idea of having a Ghana Premier League player as the number one for the Black Stars. But Asari is good. He will do his job if selected in any match. Nyama justified his call-up, but I can't say same for Baba Rahman. I hope he puts up a better performance in subsequent games. The GFA should be 100% behind Thomas Partey if the English FA decide not to make players shake hands with him. Once he's in the national colours, the nation should protect him. And then the fans were the perfect number 12 in yesterday's game. The decision to get tickets for diaspora fans will do some good for the team. Eugene in Sunya. Eugene, thank you. This one says, most Ghanaians know football and journalists and the GFA must not take us for granted. But what have journalists done in this? From this first game, the criticism was 60% right in terms of midfield. Partey, Sebo, and Elisha Owusu all had the same profile. But everybody with two eyes has said the same thing. It will affect our midfield play. So the inclusion of Suleimana Ibrahim and Ashimere would have helped our pressing and control in the middle of the pitch. Carlos is good, but his selection of the 26-man squad has flaws which might affect the team. Okay, Kevin from Community 19 in Tema. This one says, I think people just don't like Kamaldeen. Okay, this one says, no, Abigail, that was the message I couldn't make the head and tail of. I think the person sent an update and he says, Baba Rahman again. Okay, no problem. This one says, Charlie, what has Raymond done? That one is not even here and you are mentioning Raymond's name. Anyway, let's proceed, Abigail. Let's proceed. I don't know why people like to get personal sometimes. Okay, the one beneath the voice message. That one, very good. Yesterday's game was an improvement. Okay, El Nino from Choco. Okay, I think I've read this one. I've read this one already. Yeah. Okay, let us proceed. We have to get that voice note though. Nilomo from Apam says that the shipping container that brought Baba Rahman should be sent right back with him inside. Oh, why are you doing this? Says we can't start Jordan and Partey in the same game. And I don't understand how Sebo ended up at Oviedo. Are there really no defensive midfielders or better defensive midfielders in the Ghana Premier League? The difference between Asari and Ziggy comes down to exposure and experience. Asari is struggling because of the level of competition he plays against weekly. He hasn't been exposed to a variety of situations and game scenarios that Ziggy has encountered throughout his career. Interesting points there. It says, what can we call Raymond? You want to hear from him? Raymond is away taking care of important family business. So let us not bother the man with let's call him. There's life outside this building and he has a family to take care of. This one says, I didn't see any extraordinary performances from the Black Stars yesterday. I think the players were playing to be part of the starting 11. And it says, I blame Wales. Okay, Solomon, I pray from English here, Manfro sent that. This one says, I think the only changes I have seen in this team is coaching. You can see the coach's imprint as compared to Otto. I've been wondering why Yerenchi was being used as a right back, a fine midfielder like this. Okay, so Papistic Bad sent us that particular message. This one says the Black Stars players must be told of the new rules. We don't want the rules affecting us during the World Cup. Okay, this one, okay, it was a good performance, but we need a few changes. Pajo to replace Suleimana ASAP. Suleimana is not injured though, so nobody can get in unless you are injured. Change the centre back to Opon and Mumin. Midfield should be Partey, Caleb, and Owusu. Forward should be Semenyo, Jordan, and Ba. When Partey is tired, bring on... Who's this one? Oh, Boache, okay. And Niama for Ba in the second. And Edu for Jordan as well. Eric from Milton Keynes. This one is from Benjamin Kwame Azosu from Adenta. Says, I haven't watched the Black Stars for some years now, and I decided to watch the friendly. I could see there was a coach on the bench and the level of intensity of our players. Okay, let's support the players. That's what we have. Oh, but previously, if you watch Black Stars games, I was saying there was no coach on the bench. Hey, Ghana people. Ghana people. Okay, this one says you're talking about Mr. Okwekwe and his context on the issue of no, Charlie, I've explained this thing so many. So if you deliberately want to misunderstand me, that is your problem. I've explained the context in which Kurt made those statements. I don't Charlie, you make this work really tough. This one is from Ni. Let's get Carlos to sign a long-term deal looking at the AFCON. Hey! The World Cup should be the exercise to get his core team. It's obvious we don't have top quality as we did in the previous squad. That notwithstanding, I believe the players seem ready to work hard. Okay. It's clear our left back options are liabilities in defense. The manager has a lot of work to do down that side. They often go to sleep in games. And then it says an improved performance and we can be optimistic about the Black Stars. I keep saying that, look, it's Ghanaian fans it's very easy to turn them around. So the Black Stars, all they have to do is just win a couple of games and they will have everybody back in their corner. This one, they should go and bring Derek. See, Atakon is not coming back unless there's a wild injury, right? This one, okay, shout outs to, Mr. Sparks from Achimota. And he says shout outs to all listeners from himself. So Mr. Shout out, Mr. What's his name? Mr. Sparks is giving a shout out. Okay, he says, I'm disappointed in the team. If this is what we are paying the $100,000 for, it says then what is a you people? Oh man. Okay, this one says he saw a coach, not a coach. Charlie, what has that got to do with anything? All right, this one is from Clemens from Tuteke Apim. Says I think the players played well in the which half? It says in the half. Which half? First or second? The substitutes contributed, or maybe the second, contributed massively to the team. Sebo was fantastic in the midfield. Interesting. I know somebody who has a complete 180 of that opinion. The person thinks Sebo was an absolute liability. And as from Wager says, immediately Kamaldeen went to the left wing. Gideon started to have a good game. But those first 20 minutes were not good. Okay, Kobe from Takwa says, Kamaldeen cannot start for us at the World Cup. He's too wasteful. And he needs a psychologist. Okay, Baba Rahman needs a psychologist. Okay, not Kamaldeen. It's Baba Rahman. This one, talking about the rules, what does it say about bleeding players on the field of play. I don't quite understand.
That is a serious injury, and it would have to be attended to make sure the player is safe to get off the pitch. So that one, I think that they are going.
The 60 seconds.
Yeah. So that was why we said excluding those injuries.
Injury, yes. If there's a serious injury, you have
it has to be attended to, and then the ambulance. So there was Mr. Fred Papo, former vice president of the Ghana Football Association, has indicated that yes, FIFA is going to send a delegation.
I know that it happens.
These officials to the team, and then they are going to, update them and take them through the changes, the new rules, the do's and don'ts ahead of the tournament, so that every team, including the coaches, the players, the technical team members, and the officials, will be aware of everything that they need to do, so that when you fall corporate, you just understand that these are the errors. So it will be done so that all the participating nations will get to know what they have to do and what they don't have to do.
Yeah, because I knew that, I'd heard Pierluigi Collina and some other referees talk about the fact that
maybe when they get into America,
when you
arrive,
they usually
do it for you.
They will go to each team. They take time off. It's about a week or two. Go to each team, explain the new rules to them, so everybody is very aware of what is going on, so nobody cries foul. But this is the Sporty Breakfast. 8:54. You can still send in your comments on 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. I'm here with Abigail Senasusu and Kelvin Owusu. Kelvin, let me take your thoughts. I'll come back to Abigail. Abigail has initially shared a few thoughts on the J&J 4 and 5.
dead.
Them dead. You are just gassing the players up.
No,
you are not gassing them up. You are serious.
I'm dead serious.
That's Jerome and Jonas.
Now, do you have some again right now?
Do you have Lucas in?
You
we like Lucas. Calvin, your thoughts. You had an eye on the game all through because you're running commentary. Your thoughts, or just overall from a Black Stars perspective, what did you make of the performance? And we can get into the specifics, what you liked and what you didn't, and what we can potentially improve. But general thoughts on the performance, and then we get into the specifics.
I think great performance from the team, an upgrade of what we haven't seen in quite a very long time. The team looked very much confident and comfortable with each other. Passing channels, the movement, keeping their shape, organization, playing with confidence, less fast. It's not that the team did not know what to do, responded well to the threats of opponents and how opponents were having a field day. So the in-game management from the coach and from some of the players, how they added that tenacity and the will to fight, on the pitch for the nation. It was just great. And I think that from the last 5 friendly matches we played, and this one, I think that there's been immense progress, if not anything at all. The confidence, the stark confidence, and the understanding, the chemistry with which the team, played from defense to midfield to attack. I think that, yes, there are a few lapses in there and there, but I think that I love the progress that I saw, especially comparing it to the last couple of games that we've played. Those friendlies, Korea, Japan, Austria, Germany. Fine, you can take away the Mexico game because it wasn't the same set of players who played in that particular game. So it was great. It was great to see.
Okay, so overall, you thought it was a good exercise.
Yeah, very good exercise.
Let's talk about, for you, the positives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think would have probably excited Carlos Queiroz as he watched, or maybe what excited you as you watched the game?
I think for one, there was show of grit, even not for all the players. There was show of grit from some of them. Marvin Senaya, Nyama, Caleb Yurinchi, Ajete, Gideon Mensah struggled in the opening stages with Daniel James. But later on, he seemed to have found the antidote. It's either I go a bit ragged on him, train that I have enough strength, battle him with, the physicality to get him off. He managed to do it. And I was just very much glad to see those aspects of the game and how they responded to, how Soba Thomas, David Brooks, Sheenan, were creating spaces in the opening 30 minutes of the game. They responded quite well, covered up the space and prevented them from having a field day. Anyone who knows Keifer Moore is quite, a load to deal with. Like maybe probably similar to the style of maybe Peter Crouch, and you may not count him, but if you take your eyes off him, he makes a mess of you. And Nico Williams, stubborn player, but I loved how we kept his threats in the opening stages until that final minute when he managed to get the goal. There are a few things that did not go right with regards to passing, decision making, offensive play, and the latter part of the game, concentration. Football is 100 minutes. We always say, and the coaches always tell you, the opening minutes of the game, just before halftime, just after halftime, just after a goal is scored, just after you concede, and then the final 5 minutes of games. They are very crucial for you to keep concentration at very high levels. It's a game of moments. Football has now become a game of moments to the point that fine details. Once you make a mistake, your opponent is looking at that loophole to exploit and get the better out of you. And I think that going forward, if you listen to the press conference of the coach, he made mention that he had, I think, 2 proper training sessions with the team because some of the players did not even get to camp early, including Kojo Pompepra, Semenyo. The reason why they played no part in yesterday's game, it was only Joseph Annan, who had been with the team for a very longer period, who did not play. But those who arrived late, they did not have any say in the game yesterday. And I think I love virtually what I saw. If the next 10 days, the coach has ample time to train with the team, I'm sure we are going to see lots of progress because he's identified that he needs that grit from the team. The final decision making, some certain decision making, they could have done a pass 1 minute or a fraction quicker than they made, and that could solve the problem. So yes, going forward, I think that the exercise was pretty much good, and there's a clear intent of Carlos Queiroz that we've said. And even after the game, he spoke about it. Many were saying it looks like Wales dominated his side. He says football is now a two-way thing. You may have all the possession, but if you have the possession and you are not able to make use of it, all you need to do is to take your chances, score, and try to defend the goal and make sure you don't concede, and you win. And true, if that final ball had lot of concentration, starting from Christopher Bonsuba, who allowed that pass to be made easily, Baba failing to put in a bit of energy, and then Ajete and Mumin failing to read the situation to clear the ball, and then the Kumas got the equalizer. Ghana would have gone with all 3
I also think I also think Asari's position, maybe I'm wrong, I just felt it was a little
on
off.
any day the cross was a bit hanging as was not too sharp, and I think that in such situations
I'm not saying
you need to be alert, just come out to punch it because it was within the goalkeeper's area.
I wouldn't say go for it, but I thought he gave Kumas too much of it, like he gave him a target.
I think it's all about the defenders too, because Moment failed. If Moment had gotten to the ball, that ball would, and if Ajete,
because the ball beat Ajete,
and if Ajete had moved in earlier, this thing is about 5 players. This morning or from dawn, I have watched the clip several times, and you get to see from Bonsuba, Babaraman, Moment misjudged, and then Ajete couldn't fill in because if anything at all, Moment's position was where Ajete was trying to come in quickly to stop Kumas. But before Ajete ran from his position, Kwesi Sebo was closer. If you watch the video very well, Sebo was closer to Kumas, and I was expecting him to show a bit of urgency, and he could have probably, prevented Kumas from having a clean header to get the equalizer. So I think that, yes, very much impressed. These finer details would need to be worked on, and at the biggest stage, football. Yesterday we saw how Lukaku and Belgium capitalized on an error from Croatia to punish them. It happens in the game.
Okay, let me go to the line. We have former Black Stars forward Augustine Ahimful joining us. We'll take his thoughts, and then I'll bring the conversation back into the studio. Mr. Ahimful, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Morning, Nathan. I'm doing very well. Yourself?
Yes, we are fine. Thank you so much. I was on television watching you break the game down. But the morning after, how do you feel about the exercise? Do you think it was a good exercise for the team? Your thoughts on the game itself, and maybe you can tell me some of the specific things that jumped out at you, both good and bad.
I think it was good for us to play this game yesterday, for all of us to know exactly where the team stands as we speak. And whether it is good or bad, we know where to go now. We have an experienced coach in the person of Carlos. And so I want to believe that whatever he identified that wasn't positive towards the building up of the team towards our first game should be corrected. First of all, I don't know, but maybe it is an instruction given to the team. I think we were too defensive, probably wanting to conserve and then play on counter. But when you want to adopt a strategy like that, then you need to have very quick players who almost immediately one will recover the ball, play the ball up front to run at the opponent. Because for how long can you conserve and defend and then be able to play counter attacks? For how long? You can get teams that will punish you. And it's always said that the best team that holds on to the ball is a very good team in a defensive mode. Because the best way to defend is to be in possession of the ball, Nathan. Yeah. And so if we end up running more than we are supposed to do in a game, it can hurt us.
Okay. But Mr. Ifo, when you look at this team, do you think this team has what it takes to become a team that can get on the ball and possess? Looking at the structure of our midfield and the players, at least we have chosen for the World Cup assignment, since it is the one that is right before us.
So if, Nathan, we are supposed to say that current football is you start from the back, then we are not up there yet, because our back line or center backs are not that confident with the ball.
Okay.
That is to start play from, let's say, the goalkeeper, the back, take the ball and then pass it around like we've seen currently. We don't have what it takes. So maybe we need to adopt some other strategies.
Okay.
But if we are supposed to start from the back, then we need to improve. Within these few days left before our first game on the 17th, we need to actually be sure if that is what we want to do. You watched the game we played against Mexico. We started from the back, and unfortunately, Asari lost the ball, and then there was a goal.
Yeah.
So it should tell you that we are not there yet.
Okay.
When looking at what I saw yesterday, I don't think we are there. There is always room for improvement. Secondly, if you come to look how easy it was for Ampedu yesterday to play.
Okay.
I never saw him give a faulty pass the whole game he played, because you could see that he was so confident in the area. We need a player like, I'm not saying Ampedu is like there. But the way he played at ease in that area, in that pocket, on the field of play, is something that we need to emulate, to have a player who plays like that in our team. Currently, I don't know if we have any such player there. And we should be truthful to ourselves.
Okay.
Thomas is not on top shape. Thomas Partey. So if we want to depend on him, then within these few days ahead of us, we need to begin to bring him up to speed. He's not. Yesterday, he was lucky not to have been sent off.
Okay.
Yes, in the first half before he was eventually taken off.
When you mentioned Thomas, you say he's not up to speed. I'm sure you are talking about his physical condition.
He's physical, yes. Okay. He's physical, because I can see that he's put on a bit of weight. And he's not mobile as we know Thomas Partey to be.
Then it will require a lot of physical work to trim some of those pounds between now and the first game.
Nathan, we have to. The technical team members are there. They need to identify where we look. Niyama, for me, he's taken a stake in the starting 11 of our team.
Okay.
Yes. I hope that he doesn't his injury does not reoccur in these few days ahead.
I was about to ask you this. You mentioned Niyama. I think everybody saw what he and Bosuba brought in the first half. So in the second half, as compared to the two wingers we started with, Kamal Dean and Fatawi Sahaku. Now looking at this, looking at this
before
situation,
the match, once I was in the studio, I made mention of Christopher Babos because I've been observing him playing in the Saudi Pro League.
Yeah.
Since Brendan Rodgers took over that team, I think they lost only one match before the end of it. And he's played consistently. So sometimes it is not where the player is playing. Ghanaians are fond of saying that, oh, he's playing in Turkey, so the league is not there, he's playing in Saudi. But if you are a good player, you are a good player. Asamoah's good days in the Blasters was when he was playing UAE.
Yeah, that's true.
So Ghanaians should stop that and say that he's playing the Saudi league. But the boy is a good player.
So would you? So in our first game, would you start him and Niyama on either flank, because the other options are Kamal Dean and Fatawi Sahaku, and some people are concerned that if you start Niyama, it means that later on when you bring somebody else, the quality could drop. Some people also think start him from the bench so that if you have to chase a game, he's fresh and he can bring directness. How do you think we should manage him? Should he be starting games? Should he come off the bench?
Some players are better off coming from the bench. Others are better off starting. What I saw yesterday, if we are going to conserve, which is defend, and try to hit them on counters, then Niyama should start from the word go. You could play Antoine Semenyo as a false nine. Even though that is not where he plays also want to play from the flanks. Because currently up there, I don't know who will be there, who will be that quick like Semenyo, who can also run on defenders and hustle them to make errors. So I would prefer that Mehu and Kamadin can start from the bench, but rather Niyama and Christopher Babonsu.
Okay.
Unless, of course, because the first half of yesterday, I don't know, the first 20 minutes or so, Fabredu was playing on the left.
Yeah.
And Kamadin rather was playing behind Jordan. And if you are going to put Jordan up there as the lone striker, he will struggle.
Yeah.
At a point in time I saw yesterday, he was running more than he was supposed to do. But as a center forward, you are not supposed to be everywhere. You are supposed to be in an area that when the ball breaks down, you are able to take advantage of the situations. So there's a lot of work that has to be done on this team.
I see. So overall, if you had to give the team a rating out of 10, what would be your rating?
I think it should be 6 over 10.
6 over 10 is 60%.
Yes, 6 over 10, because it was only when we scored yesterday when you could see that we were coming out of ourselves. It was only after we scored. Right until then, the Wolves team had dominated possession, had hit the crossbar, I think about 2 or so, before we eventually scored. Even the goal we scored, it was a wrong pass from the Wolves player, recovered by Brendan Asante, ball to Rirenchi, 1-2 with Niyama, and then there was a counter. And go back and watch the video.
Yeah.
The young players, Jordan was the furthest player of Ghana ahead of. When we recovered the ball, about 4 players came to pass him. Before we scored that goal.
I see. Finally, Mr. Info, we have one more game, I think, against Jamaica. I'm trying to work out the date. Just based on this exercise and looking ahead to that Jamaica game, would you start with the same set, or you'd make some changes, or you expect Carlos Queiroz to make some changes ahead of or in that Jamaica game, just so he can make a decision on the first game?
Definitely, there will be some changes.
Okay.
Definitely. But the truth of the matter is that if you've taken over a new team and then you've put up an 11 and then make some substitutions, the next game should be that game that you intend to use those players as your first 11, maybe in your first competitive match, which in this case should be on the 17th.
Yeah.
So the coach is caught somewhere. I don't want to mention whatever he's caught. He's somewhere. He's in a position that, do I play the players that I intend using from the word go, or there are other players that I want to observe and see what they are capable of doing? And I don't know when we are supposed to play that match. And I don't know how intense that match is going to be.
Okay.
We should also be careful that just before we play our first match, we are going to play a friendly match. We should be also careful about injuries. Already, we've had a lot of injuries. So, it's a very dicey situation, but he's an experienced coach and he should be able to do something about it. But for me, what I saw yesterday, we need to do more. We need to do more. Bernard Asare, I think the goalkeeper...
Benjamin Asare, you mean?
Benjamin Asare has to be spoken to. How he comes out, his communication within his area has to be improved. Because when you are going to have teams that will decide to bring in crosses from left, right, we should be careful, because he's always almost like confused when there is an in-swinger or an out-swinger into the area. He's always found in a position that a goalkeeper is supposed not to be. Yes, it is either his calculation when he has to come out or not. So he has to be spoken to. He has to be directed. He's always found wanting when there's a cross into our area. The question is, could he have done something about the goal yesterday? Looking at where he stood, his positioning. I heard your colleague said that Sibo should have. No. The centre backs were there. There was Abdul Mumin ahead. There was Jonas Ajete before Sibo. So, collectively, we need to work on it. I think we found an antidote at our right back position.
Okay.
Semenyo, I think, Senaya.
Yeah.
He did so well. And especially when Nuama came on.
Yes. I noticed he and Nuama combined very well. They worked well down the right side.
Very well. In the first half, Gideon Mensah was struggling because he did not have the cover like he had subsequently in the second half when Bambonsu came on. So he struggled the first 15, 20, 25 minutes. And Daniel James was just running him down like that because there was nobody giving him a cover. But subsequently, when we made those changes, you could see that at a point, Niama was all the way at the back there defending to help Senaya out. And that is what we should do. Either we all defend as a team and run out on counter if that is what the coach is going to do. But in that aspect, then we need to suffer a little bit. Maybe I'm sure that's why the coach said we have to die. But nobody should die. We are not supposed to die, because when we die, tomorrow match we can't play. Yes, and we don't die fighting for anything.
Yeah,
I think we need to play as a unit and fight for each other. Okay. If this is what he wants to do, because if we are going to be behind all 10 players plus the goalkeeper will be in our half of the third of the whole pitch, and then the opposing team will be passing around like Paris Saint-Germain did against us now. You will struggle at the end of the day. You can have teams that will force you to come out of yourself, which is in this case, you have decided to be there, who will keep the ball and allow you to come out and hit you, the spaces that has been created behind you. So we need to change a lot of things, but we still have days ahead. Okay. He's an experienced coach, and I'm sure today, if possible, they will have to watch a video of what they did yesterday to be able to advance the course of Ghana going into the tournament and doing well.
Mr. Info, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for speaking with us. We'll catch up soon.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Augustine Ahimfo, ex-Black Stars forward. Played his football in Switzerland, Portugal, and Turkey. Sharing his thoughts on the friendly. Michael Asare-Bredu is also here today. Michael has not brought the jacket. Michael, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Nathan. I'm good. How about you?
Yes, we are fine. We are fine. Thank you so much. I was taking thoughts around the table. I'll come to Abigail, though. Abigail has been doing a Jerome and Jonas praise and worship session this morning.
Praise and worship, just stating the obvious.
We are stating the obvious. Okay. I'll come back to you. But let me go to Michael. Michael, your thoughts on the encounter. Wales 1, Ghana 1. We've had a lot of calls, a lot of messages. I just spoke with Augustine and him. For Kelvin, I shared his thoughts. What are your own viewpoints of the friendly we played with Wales yesterday?
No, okay. So maybe let me help Abigail here. So there is the JJ June 4th revolution, right? So maybe this one is JJ June 2 revolution.
The June 2 revolution.
Maybe you can add that. Yeah. But I think it was a good exercise in that it allowed us to, in terms of Ghanaians, just to see how far our team is in terms of preparations under Carlos Queiroz. This was his first game. The team had trained a couple of times, not as many as you expect. But again, it gave us a clear indication of where they are in terms of their preparation towards the FIFA World Cup. And I call it a game of perhaps two halves, not necessarily Ghana dominating one half and Wales dominating another, but the approach from the Ghanaians a bit changed in terms of when the personnel were changed in the second half. We saw some bars in terms of attack. Players like Myanmar, Brandon Thomas Asante, and to a larger extent, look at those who came on. They brought something new. Babonsu was a different option in terms of Kamaldeen Suleimana from what we saw in the first half. Kamaldeen, we did not see how explosive he was. There were times where he had to relent in terms of pushing forward. There were times where he had the ball and his decision-making was not so solid as you expect. There was one particular instance where instead of playing the pass to the left outlet to Gideon Mensah, he decided to cut in and then send in across to the far end of the post, and it did not really work well. So I think, yes, in the first half, one fundamental thing we did right was our defensive organization, the structure, and how we were able to thwart the efforts of Wales. Even when they went past our defense, there was Atizigi on hand to also make a save. And I think yesterday, it was an auditioning for him, sort of. Yes, Ghanaians know him, but there's a certain tag around Atizigi that pushes the narrative that he's not a good shot stopper, he's not a good goalkeeper, and he concedes goals for fun. But in yesterday's game, I think a larger chunk of Ghanaians, especially those who were not really fans of him, came to appreciate the shot-stopping prowess. And it was a reason that Ghana ended the first half with a clean sheet. The saves that he made, I think they were very positive, and it did a lot of good for him in terms of convincing many of those who doubt him and doubt his competence to come into the appreciation that he's also as equally good as Benjamin Asare, or even if I'm to sound a bit more controversial, he's better than Benjamin Asare when it has to do with certain technicalities of the game. His ability to distribute the ball with his feet, his passing range. He misplaced just 2 passes yesterday in short distances, passes within his own half. It was 100%, 2 out of 2. And then for the long range, he just missed 2 out of it. So I think in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that the competition within our goalkeeping department will push the goalkeepers to be better at any opportunity that they are given. At training, they will show up, they will compete fiercely, and they will bring the best out of each other. And then in matches as well. If I am Atizigi, I'm in the goalpost, I know that I am not cemented yet in terms of my position, and I need to do more. If it is Benjamin Asare, the same thing. And that brings a kind of competition we're expecting in our goalkeeping department. Oftentimes, we didn't really see that. One goalkeeper would have to be in the goalpost throughout until recent times where we've seen this kind of competition spring up. I think it's positive. 2, the centre-back pairing of Jerome Opoku and then Jonas Ajete. I think it is one that worked to a certain extent. There were massive improvements recorded in previous games. I think this time around, Jonas Ajete was not so isolated and not so exposed. And that is the beauty of centre-back pairing. You need to cover up for my lapses. I have flaws in my game. And so if I am pairing with you, you need to complement me. I have my strengths. I have my stuff that I do that work well for me. But there are other things too that I am not so good at doing. So you, as the center back partner, needs to cover up. And that's what I think Jerome Opoku did excellently. Ajete did not do much of ball distribution. He didn't have to really bother himself with some of the long passes. He tried one. It did not really work. And I was like, today might be a long day. But I think Jerome Opoku offered himself as that passing outlet. And he was mostly responsible for the ball distribution from close, from long ranges, and with a 91% passing accuracy. When center backs are able to distribute the ball in that manner, it does not really put pressure on them, because the moment you give a faulty pass, then it leads to a quick counter-attacking situation, and the ball comes back straight to the center back, and it exposes you. One, you make that faulty pass, you are already worried about it, and then quickly you have to react and try to thwart an effort. And I think the passing distribution or the passing accuracy of someone like Jerome Opoku brought some kind of calm to the central defensive position. And again, for the interceptions and the clearances, again, if your two center backs are not in sync in terms of who has to do what and who has to stay back, they mostly confuse each other. And if you're not careful, they will all be triggers. And when they do, there will not be one behind acting as a sweeper. But in yesterday's game, it looks like the roles were well identified. Ajete was mostly responsible for the clearances. And it's not surprising that after the game, he had a game-high 9 clearances. No other player on the pitch from Wales or from Ghana made more clearances than he did. So he was mostly as the sweeper, acting in that capacity. Jerome Opoku often surveying the area and then intercepting when need be. And it brought some kind of understanding, telepathy amongst them. Marvin Senaya also protected Ajete to an extent. He was aggressive, he was very firm, and then he defended his zone very, very well. So Ajete needn't bother trying to step to the right back position to help. The help came from the right winger and then Marvin Senaya himself. Left, Jerome Opoku had to cater for some of the inefficiencies of a player like Gideon Mensah. So I like the defensive shape of the team, the structure, and also how they conducted themselves yesterday. And it was very positive. But again, we're exposed to an extent. When Jerome Opoku went off the pitch, and then there were the changes in the team, we saw that we were not able to maintain that kind of defensive solidity. It made our defense a bit shaky, and then it exposed us. Again, the timing of the defensive changes. I, for once, think that the change of Baba Rahman did not help. The time that he came on, Wales had already made all their substitutions, and the players had warmed themselves into the typical game atmosphere. Baba, by then, had not warmed up to that level. So you could clearly see that he didn't really have that buzz or energy around him. He was still looking dull. He was not looking sharp enough. He came on around the 84th or the 85th minute. I stand to be corrected. And then the tempo of the game was high because Wales were searching for their equalizer. And every other Ghanaian player, apart from Baba Rahman, had minimum 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. They had played in the game. So they had warmed up to a certain level. Baba hadn't peaked to that physical level. And mostly when it's against players whose tempo is high, and then they are of a certain rhythm, and you can't correlate. So you cannot counter with the kind of energy he's given. You badly be exposed. That is the reason he was easily dribbled. He was not physically in that condition to match up to the rhythm and the energy. I wouldn't have made that coach if I was the coach. But then again, the coaches have their own reasons when they want to try certain things out in friendly games. Maybe it was to just welcome him back into the team, usher him in. I saw a gesture where the captain's armband was put around him. You get it? It's just to welcome him into the team after a long time out. Unfortunately, incidents that unraveled after he came on did not help him. But it does not necessarily make him a bad player. Yet again, the sequence to the goal, if we are to check it, there was an underlying trait in the Ghana game. We failed to defend crosses. And my very good friend, Coach Kwabena Safo, has posted this on Facebook. I took 2 of his pictures to use for this one. Mostly crosses into the penalty box of Ghana were not well defended. Yes, we had personnel. We had players from Ghana present in the box. But oftentimes you found the Welsh players isolated and unmarked. And the telling aspect of it was Daniel James winning an aerial duel in Ghana's penalty box when they were defenders. We were not really marking players well. And the first point is, if you check, we had a 4-4-2 shape in possession and out of possession. Yeah. Now, the Welsh players were able to position themselves in between the 2 layers, our defense and our midfield. And then we often had free players, but they were not marking any Welsh player. So there were balls that were floated into the box that there were free Ghanaian players and free Wales players. But the Ghanaian players were not marking the Wales players. They were free. And this went through. There were 8 crosses into the box that we failed to deal with. So it's not just the Baba Rahman bet. After Baba was easily dribbled, if we had that,
Michael, not to pause or not to interrupt you, but I just wanted to share one of the pictures with our friends watching the stream. So if you are watching the stream, there's an image that Michael is speaking to, right? Detailing Ghana's shape, team shape. There you can see the 4-4-2. But you can tell that even though we are in a 4-4-2 shape, there are Welsh players all over the place who are unmarked and are threats that our defense did not pick up. Michael, please proceed. I just wanted to draw the attention of listeners to that image.
Exactly. And then there is one image I sent him in the 11th minute. There was a similar action where Brooks from Wales had to send in a cross. I don't know if Fly has gotten that picture. You can see that there are 4 Ghanaian players ahead of the defense, the defensive 4. And then there are Wales players properly positioned, but on the edges. One Wales player is free at the right, and then at the left, another Wales player is free. And that is clearly how we defended crosses into our box, whether inverted crosses or crosses that came from the outer side. We failed to defend it, and it looks like we're defending zones. And Wales were strategically positioning players in zones where we did not really cover. Our coverage was very narrow. It wasn't wide. And they were positioning players at the tip of where our defensive line is in terms of the various edges. And then players were free to find spaces to attack. And that was also a similar instance that led to the goal that we conceded. Another cross into the box. And there were 3 Ghanaian players. I could count I heard Kelvin say there was Kwesi Sebo. So there were as many as 5 Ghanaian players in the box. And then there were 4 Wales players in the Ghana box. But interestingly, the 5 Ghanaian players who were supposed to defend the cross were free, and they were not marking. Only 1 player from Wales was being marked. So 3 Wales players were free, including the goal scorer, Kumas. And then 4 Ghanaian players were free. The positioning of Benjamin Asari as well. So we need to really work this out. I think it is a tactical issue. How we defend crosses into the box from live play or from set piece or dead ball situation. We need to find ways to deal with it. But it is unfortunate. It has come from Baba Rahman because he was easily dribbled, and that created a cross into the box situation. But I dare say, if our shape in defending crosses was intact and then players had done what they were supposed to do at that instance, it wouldn't have led to that. So it was an error on the part of Baba Rahman, but it wasn't an error that led to a shot or an error that led to a goal. It was an error that created an opportunity for Wales. And the subsequent action was that we needed to recover the ball. We needed to find a way to thwart the attempt of Wales, and that we failed to do. So that bit explains how we defended set piece. And going to a tournament like the World Cup, this will be fundamental in proving how we are able to maximize our chances from set pieces and how we also defend from set pieces, because a lot of teams will come and teams will study us, especially from the game we played against Wales. Opponents will likely want to get video footage and then study the weaknesses in the Ghanaian team and try to exploit that. So maybe Carlos Queiroz can work on this particular one. But the other side, in the first half, I think aside the failure to defend crosses, we did well. In the second half, a different approach. And I understand the performances from players like Babunsu, Brandon Thomas Asante, and Nesniama. They had points to prove. Again, Caleb Irenchi, all the players who were either returning after lengthy spells out or were being given opportunities, but they were fringe players. They had a point to prove. It was the first game of the coach. I understand Jordan and how he played. He's a captain, he's the main guy. By hook or crook, unless the coach wants to be too radical, he will not make such changes in the team. So you expect players like Jordan to start. But the issue with Niama and the others were like, we also need to justify ourselves and prove to the coach that we can be equally as good as the ones he started. And that's why I'm disappointed in players like Fatawu Ishaku and then Kamaldeen Sulemana. It looked like they felt they were big boys. They were senior guys. And no matter what they will start, no. They are not in any way equal to the status of Jordan in the Black Stars team. So Jordan can do such, maybe left off the hook. But Fatawu Ishaku, Kamaldeen Sulemana are not mainstays. And those who came came into the team in the second half, they came with that mindset. They are players. They observe the performances of their colleagues. And they will want to come and prove, oh, so we are in here to prove something. And literally that is what they did. That run from Nesniama, if it was a typical Fatawu Ishaku, it wouldn't have been as explosive as such. And again, his interest would be trying to cut in and then aim a shot. But Niama was so direct, took the game to the Welsh players, and it created uncomfortable situations for them. Brandon Thomas Asante fighting for the 50-50 balls at best of pace. Again, he also played a part. At times there were instances where he was over exuberant, and he played a part in the goal that we considered. He failed to tackle, misplaced a pass, or he lost possession, and then he failed to react, and it exposed Babaraman to an extent. So I think these were positive signs that we saw in our team. We can't use one game to address all the issues in the team, but I am happy that there were some positives for Ghanaians to reflect on and come to the understanding that the squad might not be the best that they expected, but in the grand scheme of things, these are the group of players the coach feels they can work with. And I keep saying this, the team that does well at tournament is not necessarily the one with the best squad, but the one with the best strategy. And I think there was no Lucasen. So I want to believe there will be a plan for them in the game that we play against Jamaica. So I can't necessarily say he should change the entire starting 11. There should be continuity in certain phases, especially for the defensive setup. Are we going to maintain Ajete and then Opoku, judging by how they performed, and then we ensure that they play more games or more minutes together? These are players who barely play for the Black Stars. So if you can get them to be consistent, then we see the way forward. Atiziki, does he get to start again, build his confidence? Is he someone that we can look at to be the number one when we are starting the tournament against Panama? Again, for Marvin Sanaya and what he did at the right back position, I think he justified that he's someone we can rely on. Is the coach going to say that, okay, I am satisfied with Sanaya, let me try Ali Saidi in this game to see what happens? So I think there will likely be one or two changes, but not too many changes to the team that started the game against Wales. And then maybe we can look at the way forward as to the corrections that have been made. Because the coach himself made these things clear. It wasn't a perfect performance. It was an encouraging performance. But he will want to work on some one or two things to improve. And that would include tactics. It would include personnel. And these are the changes that will likely happen to the team that will play against Jamaica.
We'll see how it goes. 9:39. Abigail Senasosu is here with me. Abigail, do you want to share other thoughts? You've already stated that you belong to the Jonas and Jerome political party, so that is okay.
The JJ Revolution.
The JJ Revolution.
Yeah. I'm dead.
But anyway, Abigail, away from that, were there things that concerned you about the performance? Like general, were there aspects of the game that worried you, or maybe worry is strong, but left you a little concerned?
I think I'll talk about Ghana's midfield. I felt that we have come to enjoy Partey Sibo over time, and so without Sibo, we thought Partey was trying to at least hold on and be aggressive all at the same time, and his aggression really brought another side of him that saw him almost red carded. So I think that we might have to just keep Caleb in that role, because he still has the legs to go about and then hold on to the ball for all of that. Partey is much needed. For whoever thinks that we do not need him, it is a big error. We need that experience at least, but it is whoever plays with him that we need to be very, very, very particular about. A lot of people didn't enjoy Elisha a lot, but I felt that he also did his own bits of the job, but he doesn't have what Partey and Sibo have. That is what might have been the difference in that midfield. It was hard to hear Ghanaians talk about the department of our game that we've always prided ourselves to always be the best in the way they did yesterday. And for me, these are the importance of friendlies, I always say. So it's good we have seen some of these things and how the coach would also work around them for us to be fine. I mentioned earlier about Marvin Senaya, very okay with his level of work and everything, but I felt that first day at school, first day at work, the wanting to impress was a little too high. I'm sure subsequently he'll be calmer and continue to do what he did. And like Michael said in his closing statement, are we going to allow Jonas and then Jerome play another game for us to see how best they are improving on their communication to even give us better performances, or would want to see different parents that we might think can work? So I do not want to be callous at this point in time, because you have to think about all of these things in the next 10 days and experiment with the last game that you have. Clearly, if they play against each other at training, you might not really get that input. But if you do that against opponents that are not of you, then you really get that understanding, like we did with the Wolves side. So I think that we are still trying to get certain key points of our game together. For the goalkeeping department, I do not have a problem. At least Ziggy and Benjamin Asare, we have seen them at their topmost best on good days. And we all know what their problems are. So I think that we just have to continue to work on those bits. And whoever decides to use as his number one or not, I don't think we need to be invested in that at this point in time. Whoever gets the opportunities should work the way they did. And yes, again, yesterday all the players showed us that everybody was fighting for a place in that starting 11. Not to take away the talents that they have. Clearly, everybody was trying to create that lasting impression. And I, for one, I want to talk about Jerome again. I was very happy to see him play comfortably, like you would see when you follow him with his club side in Turkey. That comfort or that freedom to be able to even join the forwards and be scoring. He tried with those area balls. He tried to do the connection and all that. He does that at his club side. And for a very long time in the Black Stars setup, you saw him really come out of his shell and play. There are moments the camera picked up communications with him and Jonah, clearly indicating he wanted to go up there and join. So that all those things were something that I really paid attention to. Of course, there's a new manager, and it was written all over our team that this is what the man wants. And like he said, if they continue to listen, I'm sure if he stays after the World Cup, we'll get to see a lot more of our players around. And for Neoma, he didn't look like a player coming from injury at all. He just he just played. And it was so good. And that's why we posted that if we have this with Kudus also there with him. You know, it would have been good.
Of course. I mean, if everybody were fit,
it would have been really, really good. But Bonsuba also showed us why he doesn't deserve to be on the bench most of the time, like we have seen him. He gave us a very good. I think our second half was better with a lot of fresh legs that came in and got the opportunity to display what we have not seen them do for a long time with the senior national team. I think for those pockets of moments that Carlos certainly knew it wouldn't be perfect. I'm sure he didn't expect his first day to be that perfect that no one will have any problem. But as far as there are mistakes, he should be able to correct some of these things in the next 10 days.
Calvin, Michael mentioned a certain point. Abigail mentioned it. The midfield. which combination, in your estimation, will work? We saw Partey and Elisha also start.
Yeah.
And then later on, we had Caleb and Sebo, I think. We had Caleb and Sebo. I think they completed the game. So of the four, what do you think makes sense?
Well, I think Partey, Caleb will make sense to me.
Okay.
Caleb can do a lot more of the leg work. Partey now brings his industry into the game. The reason why is I don't know what's the situation with Elisha. Yesterday I was saying he has a dedicated area. He doesn't move. And with Thomas Partey, he needs someone who gets closer to him to do the leg work for him, to shield him. It was the reason why Partey was sliding in and making the tackles.
Yeah, I was very surprised.
Meanwhile, Elisha was supposed to be doing that job. And when you overstretch him at his age, there's nothing he can do other than starting to get
fouls.
It's the same way with Casemiro. Do you see how he gets into tackles when he's tired in the Premier League? But just when he got a partner who could understand him so that movement becomes easy, all he had to do was just sit in front of the defense and do his work rather than just moving about. When he was with Ugarte, you could see he was just left, right, center. But when Carrick made him understand and he brought Kobe Manu, they had that partnership. Caleb does a lot of things so well. It's a reason why, many see him as the future. And he's actually going through the mill in this Black Stars team. Right back, central midfield, CAM. And once he has that, mentality and he's being given that direction, gentlemen, I want you to do this job for me. Do this and allow Thomas to be free to... It helps. But if Partey is not going to be trusted by the team, then I think that the only option we have is putting Sebo there. Sebo may not be a player many like, but I think yesterday, if you compare him to what Elisha delivered, he was quite, decent comparatively. But if any day I am choosing between the four, I think Partey, Caleb steps in there. And it's also all about the kind of attackers you put in front of them. How do you play a Kamaldeen as a number 10 in front of Partey and Elijah? I just didn't get it. Because that boy, even on the flanks, loses the ball so many times. So how then do you put him in a risk zone like the number 10 or a CAM? How does he deliver? And we all saw it. He got to a point, he got fed up, and then now they just had to switch for Jordan to play with Kwabnedu and then for him to stay on the wide areas. So with our midfield, it's really going to be a problem. It's the reason why I wanted someone like Ibrahim Suleimana. Okay. With him, you could trust the delivery better than what Elisha would offer. So maybe that works. And then Kamaldeen, nobody says. You see, if people are now fed up with whatever he delivers, it's not surprising to anyone, because he's not impressing. He's not giving you anything surprising. It's the same old story.
It's
the same old story.
I've been thinking about the combinations in the wide areas, and Michael, I'll bring you in. Kelvin, you too. I saw the second half Bonsuba and Niama gave.
Yeah.
And I saw the first half that Fatawi Sahaku and Kamaldeen gave. Look, maybe it's just one-off. Maybe the two gentlemen had a poor game. But if I look at the directness I saw in that second half, I'm really confused as to whether we should start games with that level of directness or we should reserve it for later when we want to chase games. Because yesterday, the difference in output was really clear. So I'm wondering, who should we go with at the start of games?
Nobody is going to chase games with the kind of lateral defenders we have, especially on the left-hand side. Nobody is going to chase games. If we want to chase games, we will be doomed. Imagine Daniel James is not an A-level player. You know that?
Yes, I know that.
Imagine you have an A-level player playing against Gideon. He will take the chances. Saka gets past you one or two times, he will deliver, Hurricane will score.
I see.
Daniel James is not an A-level player. His decision making was Brooks. The positions he got himself in. Morgan Rogers, Jude Bellingham gets himself there, he scores. So you don't chase games. Put your best foot forward. Trust you me, the combinations you are talking about, Bonsuba is going to sit on the bench. Kamaldeen Sulemana is going to sit on the bench. Antoine Semenyo is going to start.
So Semenyo starts in one of the wide areas. Okay.
He's going to start there. Now, nobody can tell me there is anyone explosive in central areas and on the wide areas more than Enes Nyama when he's fit and available. Left to me alone, I'll play that boy as my number 10.
Okay.
Let him act like the Bernardo Silva type, right from the flanks, getting in central. Let him do that for you. And especially with his left foot, he has that ability. If not anything at all, he will force a save, the scrap will drop. If Jordan is up there, he scores. Semenyo from the wide area gets in there. And then the Ishahaku, that boy, Agrone Dawson. Let's be sincere. Agrone Dawson. That sort of play, I think it needs to mature. If he wants to get
because this is like all of a sudden, this is your chance
exactly
to make a good impression.
And at your age, you are not growing any younger. Younger players are impacting the game, and he needs to learn decision making, especially when you are pacey, you're explosive, and you. How many Da Silva isn't the greatest of left backs. Da Silva, and nobody really got past him except when Nyama came on, and he was making it with Senaya, and you could clearly see Senaya was unhappy with, the passing channels, waiting for the ball. How quick? This is modern football. Quick moments, transitions. Because if he runs and you make the faulty pass,
he's offside.
It's either he's offside or the interception made,
and that's it.
The turnover
out of position, and that's it.
By the time you realize, Jonas would have to shift, Opoku will have to shift, Gideon will have to shift,
and then that opens
there
the
will be
other
space.
channel too, and
exactly,
cut them open.
So these are the moments that, and I think that Carlos Queiroz mentioned it. The fine details, one quick pass, one quick ball, and hopefully we get it done. And I'm sure, yes, people get aggrieved that you criticize a player or you point out a mistake. Nobody, if it's that, then nobody should also blame Ajete for not getting to the ball. If people don't want us to point out the lethargic defending by someone who came on with 5 minutes or 10 minutes, adding the additional time to the game, to even make an effort to stop the cross. People like Ali Duseidu, because of what? His fight during games. He never gives up. At least he will put in a fight to show that he is trying to make the block. Ajete, after the fall from the previous game, look at the kind of energy he put into the game yesterday. Look at Jerome Opoku. And I saw Abigail trusted these players and they delivered. And the coach trusted them and they delivered. Sebo may not be one player who is lying. And yesterday when he came, he seemed to have understood his duty. Let me stay in front of the defense. Allow Caleb to just do what? Do his runs. Your core responsibility, if you move away from it, you'll be questioned. It's the same way, and you see, the funny part is the same people trying to say that we are lambasting him too much are the same people who tell us that Diogo Dalot is no good. It is the same situation, Nathan. We all sit and we complain about Dalot. It is the same situation. Chelsea, players look at their right back and they start crying.
And cool.
All because of these petty mistakes. Kukurea, I'm not sure, sincerely, isn't one of the greatest left backs you would want to see. But it's about the effort.
He does his work.
He won't let you go past him easily. And that was why I was impressed with Gideon after 30 minutes. He just realized, come on, these people, if I don't start bullying them, if I don't start playing hard, they will get past me every single minute. So I just hope people understand. Nobody hates anyone. But when the faults come, we'll point them out. Jonas was being lambasted months ago. He's being credited now. Jerome Opoku at the point was being lambasted. They are being credited now.
Okay.
Atizigi was being lambasted months ago.
After last night, he's being credited.
Praise, yeah, can food you are for near can for wachacha. You cannot have the plenty such that when the ails come, you don't want us to talk about it. Take it in good faith and just make the progression. I'm sure Baba Rahman himself will get to know, come on, if I had put in a bit of energy, that I would have stopped the cross, or the player would have been unbalanced to send the ball out of play, and we would have gotten the victory. So let's just all understand, we all want the good of the Black Stars. Nobody hates anyone. We understand. If it is unfair criticism, let us know. But that was pedestrian defending from Baba Rahman, poor positioning from our central defenders, and lack of awareness too from Sebo. If you are inside the penalty area, and as a DM, you're expected to make some of these challenges. You're expected to pick up the loose ends. Declan Rice, sincerely, if you put Declan Rice and you just talk about just the football being played with other midfielders, you pick other midfielders. But what makes him an ideal choice for coaches? Because he's a tank and he gets into these crucial positions to make corrections for you when your midfielders or your defenders make errors. So let's just understand, this is the World Cup. The fine details do matter. If this fine detail does not matter to you, your corner say, just keep quiet and don't come and blame any player or blame any coach or blame any. Then we won't even analyze games.
Yeah, you're right. 9:55, we'll be wrapping it up on this edition of the Sporty Breakfast. I wanted, Michael, just you get the final word. The midfield combo, Kelvin was talking about the mix. He says we need Partey, but we need to find a suitable body next to him. Earlier, I was having a chat with a very good friend, Coach Nimley. He was making a point that if it is transition football we are going to play at the World Cup, it means that Partey has to be in there because he's probably one of our best passer of the ball, and he can find players in the wide areas. But I also think that in doing so, we will have to get somebody to protect him and somebody to do the leg work all around him so he can focus on doing his work. Who do you think, Michael, can help Thomas Partey succeed? Because we don't want a version we don't want last night's version of Partey at the World Cup where he has to be jumping into tackles. It will not be nice at all. And the red cards could potentially flow at the World Cup.
I think Kelvin has spoken at length regarding this. I don't want to spend much time. But again, if I'm permitted, let me make this excuse for Partey. This is just a game against Wales, and he wasn't really ready. And the conditions surrounding the game, you could see that anytime he was on the ball, he was being booed. He was returning to Britain for the first time since he exited, and then his court cases as well. So I think it was an unpleasant situation for him. But I trust in his experience and his competence to overcome some of these early challenges. And the more he trains with the team, I think he will be sharp. He did not really have much minutes at club level too. So that is the understanding I picked from his performance. So he will be better. That is one. Two, again, we are looking at Caleb Partey. On paper, it looks so ideal. But I think they are more of the same type, if I am permitted to say that. Caleb Rienchi is like Thomas Partey to some extent. They are not the same, but very similar. So I think we need to carefully look at the structure. If we are going for a midfield duo, then I think it should be Partey and one of Sebo or Elisha Owusu. If it's going to be a midfield setup that is three, then we can have Partey, Elisha Owusu, and then Caleb Rienchi. If you pair Caleb Rienchi and Thomas Partey, they'll be doing like the same job. Caleb is not your solid tackler. He would not win you most of the balls. I think he also tries when he has presence in the middle, and then they will do much of the work for him. So I don't see a Caleb Rienchi Thomas Partey partnership as tactically ideal for us. It won't help us. On paper, it looks so good, it looks so okay, but technically, I think there will be issues around it. I prefer one of Sebo, Elisha Owusu, paired with Thomas Partey, but we need to build that kind of chemistry that exists between them. If there is another way of having Caleb and Partey in the same midfield setup, then there should be an additional midfielder who will act mostly as a destroyer.
All right, we'll see how it goes. 9:59, I think we'll wrap it up here. Just before we leave, let me just touch on a number of things. In terms of the French Open, which is still happening, Felix Auger-Aliassime will play today. He takes on one of the Italian triumvirs in the competition, Flavio Cobolli. So Felix Auger-Aliassime, Flavio Cobolli will meet. And then that's at 12 noon today, Ghana time. And then it is an all-Italian affair, Matteo Arnaldi and Matteo Berrettini.
The battle of the two Matteos.
The battle of the two Matteos. So whatever happens, there will be a Matteo in the final. of the French Open, and we could potentially have an all-Italian final because of the other semi-final. But Felix Auger-Aliassime wants to destroy the party. He's a Canadian who wants to get into the final and win it ahead of 3 Italians, okay? And then in the women's semi-final, it is... okay, so you have, I think, 3 Ukrainians? Yeah. Yes, and you have, Anna Kalinskaya taking on... taking on Maha Shvalinska, and then you have the other semi-final at the Women's French Open. It is Arina Sabalenka taking on Diana Schneider. So that is the story there. Very interesting. Arina Sabalenka hoping to get her hands on the French Open title. So the semis are happening today. Now, for those who love their basketball, the NBA final is early tomorrow morning, 12:30 a.m. Thursday morning. So yeah, that's the lowdown. For those who love their basketball, in the morning, tomorrow morning on Sporty Breakfast, we'll talk to Rondo and the guys to give us a review of what happens in the final. Anyway, that's how I wrap it up this morning. Many, many thanks for tuning in. My name is Nathan Kwao. Many thanks to you, the listeners, for your calls and for your messages. We really appreciate it. Today, we went through as many messages as possible. That's good. We'll be doing that a lot more. Many shouts to my team, Abigail Sena Sosu, who joined. Calvin Owusu-Ansah, thank you. Thank you to Michael Asai-Bredu. Thank you to Yusuf Alas and Chipsa and Augustina Hinfo. They joined us via the phone.
To Mr. Fred Papu for his insight.
Yes, Mr. Fred Papu for giving us some insights in terms of the rule updates for the teams and when they'll be getting their orientation. I really appreciate that. And he's speaking from experience. He has seen this before. So whatever he says is the truth. Many shouts to my production team, Abigail, Immortal, Naneke, and Angela. Many shouts to Fly and Emmanuel Ayamga. Many shouts to my DJ, Fidelis. Many shouts to the technical team. Many shouts to our team, Gary Al Smith. This has been